Okay, so now this is going to be the second painting for today, and I know that this isn't as exciting as what we just finished up, but I'm excited. So there's that. Whoops. Oh, I'm terrible at my messages sometimes. Okay, so this is a snow scene, and I kind of have an inspirational photo going on in the Discord if you're interested, but this is kind of dramatically different. And I'm gonna change my stream title. Oh, hold on, this might even be a wash. Pause.
No, let's do that.
Okay. Let's see, is everything back rolling? There. Now everything's back rolling. Okay, now we can start. Have those phone calls happening. Anyway, let's pull up the reference image. Quite a bit different. Quite a bit different. So, I only kind of want to follow with the feeling of this painting. I like the feeling of it. And I kind of like the composition, although you can see that I just changed a whole bunch of that as well. I'm also going to cool down the colors and saturate the colors a bit more. So with that, I am going to probably add more white here to the palette. This is a palette that I was using for my cloud painting demo, so the only thing on here is blue and white. There's a little bit of purple off there. Probably use that in the shadows. And then get some yellow on here too. Cadmium medium red. Not gonna really need very much of that. And yet I just never use a lot of red. This is the same tube I've been going through for the last 2 years. And then liquid acridone magenta, which is what I use for the purple. So I'm gonna start with some back to front painting, and I'm gonna put down a whole lot of like light yellow color. Just a teeny amount of melon. And so the sun's gonna be, see, I kind of wanna, I guess it's gonna be here for the shadows to make sense. Even though that's interesting, it seems like it's in the wrong place. Oh, that's the difference between taking inspiration from a painting and doing it from a photograph. So I'm gonna put my sun here.
Look at my laser started.
Just want to remember that. And then I'll go more pinky red up there on the edges. Probably gonna want to go a little bit lighter. Gonna paint over all of these trees. Thank you very much. Don't mind me coming through. I want that pink to be a little bit pinker, but oh well. Go with melon and I'll just highlight a couple things here and there. A little bit more intense than I thought. It's the evolution. Just don't want it to get too intense right there. I do like the subtle changes in the sky color. I don't want them to get pronounced cloud shapes or anything like that. I just want gradual transitions in color. Because there's already so much contrast in the tree forms. Don't want it to get crazy.
Wait for that dog alarm to come. Hello?
Let's see.
No!
Let's put a little bit of melon on the horizon down here. Down in here. Oh boy, tiny house. Tiny house issues. What can you do? Do a little bit of changing color behind the branches, just here and there.
I got two.
Here's our sunspot.
Let's just get him. Holy no, he is coming. My God, do not die.
Okay, there we go. I think I'm pretty happy with that. With the different colors showing through at different spots in the painting, that's nice.
Oh. Did not go well, okay? Oh, he's far away. Well, you cereal.
Okay, now for that background mountain, it's gonna have a little bit of the purple on it, but still a lot of this is gonna, a lot of this warmth from the sun is gonna be showing through. I'm just gonna scrub it on there, and let's get some sort of really light purple going for that spot. The reference that I'm using, it's mostly blues, but I'm gonna be putting more purple in there. I'm gonna need some white over here. Hello, how are you doing? I'm gonna need like a way light purple. And that seems about good. Or does it? I don't know. As soon as I get it on there, it's gonna be a whole different story. It's definitely a departure from the gouache painting that I was doing. I'm doing well. I've been doing a lot of painting this weekend, and I'm pretty stoked on that. Just finished up a 16 by 20 inch landscape painting a couple hours ago, and I've been really into these tiny snow paintings. So I am back doing that. Let's see, that is a little bit darker than I want it to be. I'm gonna wash. I'm gonna rinse all of that out of my brush and then come back with a somewhat clean brush and blend that color all in. Leave some of the warmth from the sun on there. But not there. Okay. I feel like that. That's better. It's a really distant mountain. And then the next one is a bit darker. Kind of a nice lavender color. I might use some more magenta on there just to get some areas that are different. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. To mix it up a little bit. Maybe I'll put some yellow shining down on this mountain, this background. Got some trees in the far background that are kind of going over this area. Okay. That's drying at a pretty quick clip. A little bit more magenta. I'm going to come up from the bottom of that mountain. And I added a little bit of yellow kind of coming from the top. This color is going to be behind a lot of these trees that are in front of it. I just rinsed my brush out and with water so that I can kind of blend this in. Okay. Might add some of that melon color highlight on top of those hills. Is what I'm feeling right about now. Okay, I'm kind of blending that into the mountain above it. It's just very diffused and subtle. Okay, now we've got the little trees and stuff that are the next layer forward. And I'm just gonna make them purple but muted. So they gotta be darker than the mountain in front of them because they're closer to us. So they have less, what is that, like atmospheric diffusion between us and them. I'm gonna add more magenta to the purple, make it warmer, and then the tops of the trees will be a little bit lighter than the bottoms. And put some Prussian down at the bottom here. Might have to switch to a smaller brush. We're just gonna see. Smaller brush for sure. I'm gonna stick with a flat though. Okay, that was maybe a little bit too much yellow right there. Just a bit too much. There we go. I'm gonna hold my brush bristles vertical for the very most background trees that we can see here. Then a couple of them I'm gonna make come in front. And they can be just a little bit darker and a little bit more saturated, and maybe even have some branches. I'll probably even put some highlights on that guy. Okay. And all right, so while I'm back here, I might as well just highlight them. I also feel like they're kind of awkwardly spaced now that I have them down. So a little bit warmer color on the sun side of them. Probably put some snow on those guys. Okay. Now, this will be interesting because these are, I feel like maybe I screwed up the values just a little bit. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if I can make it work somehow. I'm making some of these trees a little bit big. I think I may have messed it up a bit, but I say we keep going. and see what happens. I'll just keep on lightening stuff up is what I think is gonna, seems to be what's happening. Definitely getting all the darks in now. And then I'll probably take some mixing white and go over this whole thing. But we'll see. Like a grand experiment. Definitely not gonna have a problem with making things too white. That's not gonna be a problem here. That's kind of the block in that I want. Almost. Let's get that shadow right there. And that there. Alright. I am gonna have to adjust those like mid-ground trees. They're too poppin'. Too much of the poppin'. Hello! Welcome, Raiders! Welcome to my Winter Wonderland painting. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you guys doing tonight? And how was your stream? For anybody that is new to my channel, I do landscape painting. So many landscape paintings, and I try to make them seasonally appropriate as I can. Earlier today I finished a 16 by 20 landscape painting that's kind of fantastic. I can't really fit it. I guess I can show right there. Let me show you what I finished earlier today. So this is a rare double stream day, but see on the little camera, you can see that. Today, working on an 8 by 10 Winter Wonderland painting, and like the scope, the size difference, look at that, is dramatic. But I'm gonna be working smaller, more in like this range for like the Winter Wonderland stuff. So from 4 by 6 all the way to 16 by 20. But if you like landscape paintings, this is the place to be. How are you guys doing? How's your night? Sleepy. Thank you, thank you. You beat Pokemon Sword. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I was just adjusting the values on this one. When I say that, I mean like those mid-ground trees are too dark. Too dark. So I'm gonna lighten those up a bit before I start painting the foreground. I'm just blocking everything in, so it's really rough. Thank you guys so much for coming and stopping by. Yeah, you know, okay. I feel like, oh, so this is too light. That would be pretty much wiping them out. Let's see, maybe adding a little bit more blue, just get a little bit darker. I think that's more like it right there. That color. Yep. Much better. I want it to be closer to the shadow colors. I don't want them to pop out like that. It's too distracting. You thought there were 2 drawings? Oh. Dang. You go get that sleep. Thanks for stopping in. Okay. Yeah, fading these out like a bit. So much. Yeah, I just want to be able to just put a little bit of shadow underneath them. And there's going to be a lot of atmospheric diffusion, which is the term of the day, between us and these trees, so they're going to fade out into the sky. Thank you so much for the follow. Hoping these will kind of disappear as prominent figures when I paint in the higher contrast foreground. Ooh, pink tops, maybe. Just rotating around a flat brush just to get different shapes. Vague, vague, vague. Keep it vague. That's a lot better. A lot better. Okay, and then maybe even a little bit lighter, a little bit more melon. It's almost like I have to paint in some tree holes now that those trees have gotten so thick back there. A little bit more yellow still. There we go. Got some different shapes going on now. This color that I'm putting on right now is going to dry more transparent. But I'm putting it down as, and you just got to have faith. When you add water, it just looks more opaque than it really is. Okay, now we got some darker shapes, we've got some lighter shapes, we've got a little bit more of a smoother transition into the foreground. That's much better, my word. Okay, so now I want to add some of these warm colors into the snow, kind of like a dappling of light. Let's see. It's kind of just around in the back because there's all these things happening on the snow back there that we can't see, right? Which is like little berms and bumps and things. Want it to be just a little bit more yellow. Okay, and then the foreground berm is going to be lighter considerably and more yellow. I upgraded to a more expensive yellow, and I'm really happy I did, but man, I gotta get used to the amount of pigment that it gives me. It's a lot more than the cheaper yellow. It's a lot more coverage. It's dramatic. I think that one's wrong. Try to get some fresh white. And then I'll have to wait for this to dry before I put on pink. So I don't want it to really be orange. I want it to be pink. Now I'm lightening up some other areas that aren't exactly highlights, but I want them to be a little bit lighter. Is it a package? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's Sunday, so I'd be surprised. Indy. Quiet. Quiet. What is it? Excuse me. What's that?
Hey, thanks for the second, baby. Let's go! It's a package!
Thank you. The feeling. All right. So many packages come on Sunday now. Where were we? Okay, so this is looking okay. It's kind of good to walk away for a second. I'm looking forward to adding those pinks. That's for sure. And it is kind of fun building up the highlights on the whites.
Keep us free. Oh no.
I like how that disappears back there. And then... Hmm.
Do it.
Kind of like a snowy road. That's what's happening there. Just in case you needed help. Hopefully you didn't need that much help figuring that out, but that's what's happening there. And then I'm gonna have some sticks coming out. I'm pretty happy with those lines, so now we can start doing some tree. Some serious blue. Have to blend that down. And this color is going to be different in front of the sun. Oops. It's going to be quite a bit warmer in this area.
Oh God, this is
little deeper blue or purple at the top and at the bottom. Kind of a dirty color, but I just want to use it in a couple places, and I think it's gonna go well. Yay, winter stuff! I know, right? I've been good. I've been busy. I've been oh so busy. Uh, but, you know, so such is life. How have you been? How are you doing? This is actually my third winter scene, but it's the first one that I've streamed for Twitch, so it's not like you've missed too many. The other ones are so little. This is like my bigger one that I'm doing. I'm trying to be, you know, nice and painterly and loose and all that stuff, so we'll see. How that all goes. But yeah, what have you been up to? I think I'm gonna still do the smaller branches with the point brush, honestly. More magenta between the blue and that yellow color would be good for me. There we go. And I am definitely gonna take that color and kind of bring it away from the trunk, and I'll show you what I mean by that. What do I mean? Dramatic. Okay. I could always lighten that up a bit if I want to. But I might, I might leave it. We'll see. We'll see. I gotta brighten up the area that's gonna be right by the sun, right? Because if you haven't caught on by now, this is definitely a stylized painting. Full of color and magic. The leaves, of course. That's one of the more fun parts, I think. I'm gonna make that side of that trunk warmer. And then as I get further away from the sun, I'm gonna kind of cool it down a bit. So now more purple coming up here. I'm gonna kind of overlap it. Those branches next door are just like communicating. They're like, hi. I'm going to work on some more purple too. I'm going to be transitioning a lot from purple to blue to magenta in the shadows. A very shadow focused painting. But, you know, I might pump the whites up a bit too. I haven't totally decided. It's a little, yeah, it's a little dark tonally. Maybe I'll do a white wash over the whole thing. I don't know, just to up the values, but... Hello! Oh, you were just perusing the Instagram? Thank you so much for the follow. I'm glad you cruised on over to Twitch, too. Yeah, I'm doing something a little bit different today, but I like it. It's gonna need some adjusting in the final stages, but right now I'm just getting in the forms. I'm gonna also be adding pink to the snow on this one. Did you, the painting I finished earlier today, I'm quite proud of. I just posted a reel on Instagram, but I did not post the final yet, the final post or what have you. These colors are wild, but it's got a fantasy vibe to it. But I want to make sure to keep going. Like, keep that going. And then I think the next time I stream, I'll be doing a little painting, like a 4x6 painting, which should be more affordable for people too. I think the 4x6 paintings are gonna end up being like $40, $45, something like that. Depends on if there's free shipping or not. If I do free shipping, then it'll be 40 to 45. But then I did order some frames for the little guys too, so that might be a fun option. And a nice way to display them. Those are coming down a bit. They need to be a little bit more magenta. I can add a little bit more here and there. I believe that's the form of that tree. You know what? I did take a picture of the sketch that I did of this painting. Did I? Did I already delete it? It should be on my Instagram story. There it is. Boom. I will do that a lot. I will take a picture of my drawing just in case I lose sight of it during the painting process. Kind of helps keep you on track. You do that too? Because man, sometimes you think, oh yeah, I got that. And then before you know it, you've painted over it completely and you're like, hold on, I thought it was a little bit different right there. And I changed things from the reference or inspiration photos so much that it's going to be completely different. Alright, pine tree, now you're talking. I'm going to work some of the purples into the blues up top there, just kind of unify it a bit. You know what, that pine tree has some serious energy. We'll see if I might paint in some negative shapes. Smarter, not harder. You know, whenever you can. Because there's so many times where it's too late. Overlooked. Okay, now pick up a point brush, a number 2, and I am going to, this has got a warm color on it, so the branches that are going to be over here are and then maybe I might work a couple magenta ones over here just to imply that those are closer to the sun, and it will bring some interest over here. Also going to work some magenta next to that orangey red color. Oh yeah. Love that color. Every time I use magenta, it's like, I think to myself, why am I even using orange? I end up painting over most of my orange. Okay, now... Oh wait. Nope, missed a spot. I'm gonna need more of those little branches. These light branches here. Branch, branch, branch. Usually I go from the trunk out, but between my hand placement and the lighting that I have right now, that is just more convenient. Whew. Okay, now a little bit more purple. I like going from the trunk supporting branch side out to the tips because you can lift up the brush and it can get a little bit thinner on your way up, so that can be helpful.
Get that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some more air in that tree for sure. For sure, need some negative shapes. Keep on doing these guys over here. So many little branches. I don't think I've ever experimented with so many different colors, like kind of weaving them together. It almost seems like, yeah, like a woven tapestry or something. It's wild. Like rainbow spaghetti noodles. Yes. A little on the dark side, of course, but that's okay. That's what this exercise is for, to experiment with some new techniques. Some little tiny guys coming out here. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, the branches are definitely the star of the show, right? Makes those really high contrast shadows a little bit more okay, although I do feel like I'm gonna address that. They are kind of intense. Kind of intense down there. Okay, there we go. Really glad we made that mid-ground a lot lighter, because holy smokes. Okay, now before I forget, I wanted to put some light pink in the snow highlights. Is my brush cleaned out enough for it, though? Got a touch muddy there. Okay, there we go. Magic. So I'm just gonna touch all the highlight areas on the edges and just a little bit here and there in the inside of the highlight areas with this pink color. that was a bit much. There we go. Pink Wintry Wonderland. Now, most to the point where I can just stop looking at my reference photo because it doesn't look anything like this. Nothing. Okay, so I am going to, but I'll let you see it. This is just an inspiration. I wouldn't even call it a reference. This is an inspiration for this painting. So, this is a different painting that I found just kind of in the winter Pinterest feed, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. That composition is interesting, and the way that it's just structured is interesting to me. And I'm like, I think I just want to paint branches. So instead of having all those be some sort of evergreen tree, I just have the one being an evergreen tree. There's also some stuff with the composition on this painting that I'm not really into, so it is just kind of like an idea starter. So now what I want to do is I'm going to make a blaze, and I'm going to use mixing white, and I'm going to use glazing liquid, which I don't usually use, so this will be interesting. It'll be fun, right? And transparent mixing white, which is the zinc white. The zinc white that you don't want to buy for usual white purposes. I never even used the zinc white until I was buying a bunch of white for work, big old mural project. And just one of the zinc whites was in the titanium white. So as I was just like grabbing 4 or 5 of the basics acrylics, one of them slipped into my basket and I didn't even realize it until way, way later. And then I was mixing something for this mural, a giant amount of paint for this mural, and I was like, oh my god, I keep on pouring in white and nothing's happening. It's not changing the hue of the color at all, or the vibrancy. It was disappointing. So I was like, oh, that's what this is for. Because as you're looking really close to it, the little pigments, the little pieces of pigment are really, really tiny in comparison to titanium white. Like titanium white, I could make a glaze, but it's like the chunks of pigment, and I mean, you gotta really get in there to see this. The chunks of pigment are bigger than the zinc white. So now I keep them both, and I use them very specifically. The zinc white does not come out to play very often. But I think in this case, where we just kind of want to lighten up a whole giant area without losing any detail, it might be what the doctor ordered. So this is an experiment, except for I use glazes. I use glazes all the time, but this will be the first time I kind of do a big area. And this is just a coffee lid. So see, the coverage is very titanium, and I grabbed the green coffee lid just so that we can kind of check how transparent it is. So I can kind of just like brush this about. Yeah, zinc white. It's I bought it on accident. I know what it's for now. It's not for, I mean, I hardly ever use it. So that's that. We'll test it in the sky first. Looks like, I mean, that might even be so subtle you don't even see it until I put it down over some stuff. Oh yeah, this is gonna be great because, you know, acrylic paint dries so quickly. We can just layer, layer, layer until all the values are exactly where we want them. And I do this to make things darker too. I'll take some Prussian blue and I'll put, you know, either glazing medium or not, or just use water, and I'll just like scrub it over an area that needs to be a little bit darker in value, and it will do the trick. So I want this edge to be brighter, and I'm gonna do that with some regular old titanium white. This is supposed to be on a berm. I'm sure you can see that now. How the zinc white went over that. Well, I'm just gonna keep the layers really light, and I'll go over anything that needs to be gone over again after it dries. Which should not take very long. You know, you may as well. I mean, if you are not worried about having a bunch of tubes of paint, which I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about that when I'm teaching people things, but I'm not worried about that for my own personal. May as well have some zinc white. But then it really depends on how particular you are, you know, because I will really get in close to something and kind of be nitpicky. Well, that's a big difference. If you're kind of standing back, then you're not going to notice. This is really cool because I can just subtly adjust values here and there and leave it a little bit more saturated and darker in some spots. Still want more sky holes though. It's gonna happen. Okay, the first stuff I put on should be kind of drying by now. Pretty dramatic difference. If I had a side-by-side. I can still see all the little gentle, subtle colors that I put down, so that's nice as well. You know what? This line bothers me a little bit. And I think to fix that, I can just put some of those sticks in there. I want those to be a little bit lighter there, and then maybe a little bit lighter in there. Definitely gives it a lot of atmosphere. Go over an area too soon, you're gonna wipe your paint off. Says me to me. Bloop, bloop. And then it's like at a certain point you have to stop touching it, and come back later. Stop touching it, come back later. Stop it. Sky holes. That's right. Okay, this is a lot more harmonious. It's less so, I mean, it was so dark. It was so dark. Now anything that I put on here is gonna have to match the lightness factor, which is fine. We can do that. Can be done. Struggle's real. Stop touching it. Self, what are you doing? Wow, this will be great. I'll put a couple of these little delicate winter sticks You know, ambiguous winter sticks. You don't know what was there. Some plant that lost its leaves. It's not really that glorious looking right now, but darn it. It serves a purpose. And that purpose is to pull your eye away from that awkward area right there. I'm going to make it a little bit more purple, and I'm going to put a couple on the other side. Oops, not a zigzag. I'm going to pull that purple up into the tree. All the way up to the top. Make sure that it's present in a couple places. Fix that spot. Fixed. Boom. Okay, there we go. Now we're looking more natural. More natural, more natural. Sky holes. Some sort of random de-leafed shrubbery. Leafless? De-leafed? Something like that. Something of the sort. Not this little stick. You know, sometimes, like, the stick you put in is either too strange or not strange enough. It's like, oh man, okay, you stick. If you're gonna be weird, you gotta be obviously weird, and not just a little bit weird, because if you're only a little bit weird, it just looks like a screw-up, or if you make it very obviously weird, then yeah, then it's just nature. Okay, that shrub had a good year last year. Prolific. I bet this area is beautiful in the springtime. Like these little shrubberies among these giant deciduous trees. Okay, I'm gonna keep that clean, keep those. Doing that. Sky holes. Not gonna use the filbert though. I'm gonna use the flat. I'm gonna mix the sky color. Shouldn't be hard because it's just a baby touch of the cadmium red. I mean like baby touch, like, I don't know, you see it on there? Oh, even that was a lot. It's okay. I don't know how my white got so adulterated. It's a little too yellow. Add more white, which will tone down our pink, which will make it about perfect. A little bit more white. And you know, next time I buy titanium white, I'm just gonna go ahead and step up in quality, because when I want something to be opaque, I want it to be like way opaque. Come on, man. Yeah, I don't know why I'm looking at that bit. There is nothing to be gained from looking at that reference photo. These sky holes are for style points. Add a little bit of pink over there to that pink zone. And if I do a second touch on the sky holes with a slightly different color, it will be good. There's our yellow. A little bit more white where the sun is. I don't think I initially wanted there to be any foliage right there. And I think I will just paint it out because I don't want it there. Be gone with you. I add some similar brush strokes to the background of the sky, just kind of make sure it's cohesive. Kind of the magic touch right there. Do a second coat on some of those spots. It helps out the shape a bunch. This makes it more random, which ultimately is just more natural, right? Add a little bit of purple. Just a little, I mean, like a medium amount of purple, and I'm going to press the horizon line here. Great. Getting better, folks. It's getting better. I'm gonna pick my filbert back up and use the rest of the white glaze that I have, which is not much. I've got a little bit left over on my coffee lid. Going to lighten up the base of that tree. Maybe there's some snow stuck to it, or frost. Maybe. Either way, the less contrast we have right there at the base of the tree, the less likely your eye will follow or get distracted by that line. So I would like for that to not be so intense. Okay, now it's stand back time. It's stand back and look at the painting time. I'm digging the tree shape. I love it. Love, 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 love. I think the only thing that's left to do would be to put some highlights, some more highlights on the snow. It's like maybe some bigger areas of highlight. I don't know if I can do it with the glaze in a profound enough way. Maybe, maybe not. Because I wanted that edge to actually have an edge. Your eye goes straight to the focal point though, doesn't it? And ultimately that's what we want. We want your eye to go this way and then bloop. Possibly come around here. Okay, I'm gonna put that glazed dish away. Put the filbert brush away. I use a filbert right there because if I'm gonna be painting something just like vaguely like that, just kind of like all over the place, and I want something with soft edges, just in case, especially when it's semi-transparent, it's easy to miss something that you put in that maybe is a little bit on accident. It's easier to get rid of something with soft edges than hard edges. That little dot was distracting me. Little dot. Okay. Point brush, magenta. Okay. Now that we've toned everything else down, whatever I put in full force magenta is like electric, which is kind of nice. There we go. Alright, I think that wraps it up. That wraps it up for me too. Perfect timing. That is the perfect timing for sure. Okay, winter scene. Number 3 is a wrap. And thank you so much for hanging out, and I'm pretty happy with this. And we'll do more purpley snow scenes in the future. A month, possibly 2 months. Good night.